Hello, again, AT Science students. We're looking today at Wednesday, December 16th. Your goal today is to finish tectonic investigation number 2. So again, hopefully you've got that set up already. We did that in class yesterday. Again, that question sheet, Google Doc, and the student resources, those are what you need. And again, the instruction sheet is right here embedded in PowerSchool Learning. Our question in investigation 2 is how do we recognize plate boundaries? We're trying to figure out where those are and how we know. Where are those rocks going to be forming? So again, please do not just try and go through and answer the questions. Don't just go through and answer the questions. It will not work. You will miss lots of stuff that is quite important. And in fact, one of the things in here in the instructions, if you're following the directions, part 1 is to open the GIS. You shouldn't run into that error that we ran into last time because it's not going to be asking for your location, so that should be all taken care of. But just going to that investigation number 2, how do we recognize plate boundaries? Right there, click on it. Should be good to go. Because it's going to have some different things. So each time it does it, has some different tools in there for you. But make sure you're following the directions because step 2 does not start by answering the questions. You don't actually even start answering questions until part 3. So follow these directions. It's going to have you doing some drawing and things like that on the map and trying to figure out where these plate boundaries are. Walk you through how do you know and how do we identify them and how do we draw them on there. So again, make sure you follow those directions. There is one hiccup in there, and that is when they do this prepare map for export thing. That does work okay. I think what, in my opinion, tends to be easier is simply to take a screenshot. So rather than exporting your map and going through this, it works just fine. I find it easier to take a screenshot and then just copy and paste that right in here. So kind of as you're going through question 1, 2, and 3, it will be the next part that gets answered. So kind of following the directions where you're at, make sure you put the pictures at that spot in the video. Okay, so make sure you're getting that in the right spot as you're working through. And so to follow these directions. If you do, like I said, you don't get to actually answering questions until we get to part 3 here. Here's where it says answer questions 1, 2, and 3. So that doesn't happen until step 3. So follow the directions. If you want a tutorial, kind of walking you through how to follow the directions, tutorials right there for you. And there's a nice short video here, kind of explaining some of the new features and things like that they've put in there for you, and how to use some of those, like the polyline tool and some of those things that you'll see in the instructions. As always, if you have questions, please make sure you ask. Again, this is due by tomorrow. We will go over this together in class tomorrow. So tomorrow, Thursday, we're back together. I will be going over this, so make sure you got it done and ready to go. Please make sure you have it turned in, and so that way we just maybe have some few tweaks of things to fix up and understand correctly as we go through. So if you have questions, again, please make sure you ask.